Hi, I'm Sarah Hendrickson. I do have previous experience with Photoshop and InDesign, so if I were to rate my proficiency level for these at the beginning of class, I would say I'd be at a 4. I never did very complicated work on either of them, but I knew all the basics and did a couple projects with both. That is not the same for Audition or Premiere though. My proficiency level for those at the start of class would have to be at a 1, as I had never used those softwares before. So for my magazine cover, I chose to do a cover for a wedding magazine. I knew I would enjoy it simply because it would be a pretty cover and because it would be simple enough for my skill level while also meeting the requirements of the assignment. My creative process was simple. I picked a bridal color to fill the background and found a bridal image that looked nice and filled the space well. My title and headlines were all on the theme with wedding gowns. I used object selection and layer masking to cut the bride image from its background, so it was just the bride over the blue fill, and of course I added text for the title and headlines. I feel good about the outcome of this project because it was a very solid start to the class and I think it turned out well. Moving on to the magazine article, I chose an article about 2024 gown trends with wedding gowns. I felt it was the best choice out of the other headlines on my cover because it allowed for a variety of images to use in the body. The tools I used were mostly text block and frame to add images. I felt pretty good about this project too. I thought it was very clean, well-polished article that fit well with the cover I had made. Next is the audio recording project. For that, I chose the first page and a half of The Hobbit to read, and I added fun, lighthearted fantasy music to the background. I chose this for my audio because I am a big fan of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. I had just showed my boyfriend Lord of the Rings for the first time, and I wanted to do something related to that. I also chose to read that piece because I thought it was very cute. All I used was audio recorded through a headset connected to my laptop and some royalty-free music. I was actually very happy with this project because it was fun and I thought it turned out well. It was probably my favorite one to do. Next is video storytelling. For this, I chose to write a little story of my own. I started by looking up stock videos, and the most that I saw were landscapes, so I decided to write a story surrounding those. I used my phone to record a video of my mom reading the story, and for the stock video, I used Adobe Stock and Pexels. I was a little unsure of the outcome of this project because the video from my phone was not the same frame size as the stock footage. I did try to adjust it, but it was not very helpful, so I left it alone. Apparently that wasn't a huge deal because I ended up with 100% on the project anyway. My favorite part of this class was the audio and video projects. I had a lot of fun doing them, and I'd like to do more projects like those. I enjoyed Adobe Premiere the most because I found it fun to cut and line up video and audio in that way. My proficiency levels for Photoshop and InDesign are probably at a 6. The projects I used for them were similar to ones I did in the past, but they allowed me to enhance my current skill. I would rate myself at a 6 for Audition and Premiere as well. I'm far from an expert on either of them, but I have a pretty good understanding of the basics and how they work. Overall, I really enjoyed this class, and I learned a lot from it.